Hey everybody, welcome to the Q&A session of our YouTube training this month, although it's May. But I wanted to record this because I have Joy Peterson with me, which is great to have her here. And she is actually redoing her whole brand, and YouTube is part of her brand. And she's right now thinking about what she wants to do and kind of looking at her different options. So I think this is a great thing for everyone who's just getting started with their own brand. So I'm happy that you're here, Joy. Thanks. This is great. So tell me a little bit about what you're thinking. Like right now, how long have you had your YouTube page for?
Oh, probably, well, as you can see here, 3 years for the channel where I did the channel opening, and I don't really use YouTube, and I need to start using YouTube.
Okay. I see that. Yeah. So what are you thinking you want to do? You're saying you're looking at regenerating your brand. What are you thinking about? Tell me about what your brand was before and where you're going with it.
Well, I kind of migrated an old business, Express Success, to be more focused on doing spiritual healing. And it was to a business audience because that's who I used to help. Now they're asking me they meaning heaven is asking me to brand under my name with my angelic warrior work and be authentic out in the public, with that being my focus of really what my work is, dealing with darkness and how I help people educate people on the hidden causes of their challenges, which is largely caused by darkness, educating them in that arena. So it's coming out with, the angel images, but trying to do so in an authentic as well as sophisticated and elegant way without looking like silly talking about angels. You know what I mean? It's like you walk a fine line with some of this. I'm a professional, and I don't want to come across as anything less than that, talking about something that's unusual for a lot of people, but it has a big audience in some arenas. So I'm trying to fine tune all of that. I want to look professional. I want to have this look professional, my YouTube channel, as well as everything else. And talk about topics that are controversial. I'm controversial, but do so like I said, in a professional, elegant manner.
Okay, so let me just stop you for one sec. I love that you're talking about this because this is such a crucial topic for everybody, especially in this group, because I think most of my people in this group are leaning towards the spiritual entrepreneurism, world. And I hear this all the time with people that they want to be professional and they don't want to be seen as, woo-woo, right? And and I totally understand. And you come from a corporate background, is that correct?
Yes.
So how did you come from a corporate, like how did you embed that, your spiritual perspective into a corporate world to begin with? How did you start getting clients? How did you start working with in that milieu?
Actually, I was working at Paramount and I saw people struggling and I wanted to help them. And my first transition was learning about the law of attraction and then just giving workshops to the people that I knew that were struggling. So I was working, it was like two different personas at the time, the work life, working in television, and then working on the side, helping them in that way. My business started then, but then it migrated over the years. And then the most dramatic thing was Archangel Michael stood before me asking me to join him in a healing practice. And I didn't want to tell anybody I could talk to angels, let alone anything else.
Did you know you could talk to angels at that point? Or were you like, who's this guy, Michael? Like, did you know who he was?
A little bit. I mean, as it turned out, I could see him. I could see angels, demons, and aliens and whatnot when I was a little kid, but it wasn't something I focused on. And I was able to channel since 1994, but Michael didn't appear to me asking me to join him in a healing practice until 2004. And it was a rather dramatic shift because he stood before me and he asked me to write his book and join him in this practice. And I was running a business network at the time, and I didn't want to tell anybody I could channel angels. So I had to work through my own issues, which at the time I could do spiritual healing and mostly worked on myself to clear the cause of my own issues of persecution from past lives, which was stopping me from doing this work at all or being public with that work. Being an old soul, I had to keep continuing to clear past lives of persecution to do this work. And up until like this week even in going out and being more public, which is part of what they want me to do. I'm being called to clear and help other light workers to step into their own brilliance and why they were created, because everyone is really stopped from living fully and fully living into their calling. And if they could get out of their own way, they can deliver the work that they're here to do, and then the whole world will work better when everyone is doing what they came here to do. But I had to get out of my own way to do that publicly and state who I am and step into this work fully myself.
And so what happened to you when you did that? What was the response?
When I did what?
When you came out of the proverbial spiritual closet?
Well, it's been a process for a few years. When I was asked to first identify me and who I am, it brought up a lot for myself and others because I push everybody's buttons when I do that.
Okay.
My authentic self is when Michael came to me in 2004, he announced to me that I was him incarnate, which didn't even make sense to me at the time. When he was asking me to do that publicly, it pissed everybody off because that's not appropriate to them.
Right.
And then my true identity now is Michael left, so his twin could come through, and now my high self is Archangel Faith, and I'm supposed to go out publicly with that, which brought up all sorts of persecution issues for me, and anytime I speak to the topics that I'm supposed to speak to, it also brings up a lot of stuff for those who are hearing me. So it's always constant clearing along the way. And then now it's positioning myself so I sound credible instead of some whack job that everybody is like perceiving me to be or accusing me of being mental or darkness is, causing.
So you're still feeling persecuted?
Oh, I was persecuted last week. It's not new. It's just in social media. It's not. They're not hanging me this lifetime. And that's what happens to everybody. So the social shaming that's going on in the internet, Michael actually said is worse than when they used to lob off your head, because then it was done and over with. Now it just carries through for a lifetime in social media.
So you still have fear about that, about being perceived the wrong way?
It's less because I keep clearing myself.
Mm-hmm.
Even this week I had to clear a lifetime when I was an orator promoting God in another lifetime where I was ridiculed and discredited. And that lifetime occurred, it was older than Alexander the Great. I know, I just happen to have that as a marker. So I've been at this a long time and been persecuted mostly every lifetime I've come and promoted God. So it's kind of been there, done that, and you want to keep your head on. So I keep clearing those things, and it keeps getting better, and it keeps getting easier.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Good. And so now you have this new brand. You mentioned Angelic Warrior a little while ago. Is that
right? Archangel Gabriel asked me to come out with my official spiritual warrior image, angelic work, who I am, and so go out with in a bigger way. I've got a book coming out, or that's out, but I need to publish that in paper, and I need to go out and do this in a big way. And it's getting easier, but it still doesn't mean it doesn't have hurdles and hiccups. And putting my YouTube channel together in a way that I can be authentic, professional, sophisticated, elegant, not, look like you were saying, kind of a woo-woo kind of thing before.
So if you desire to be seen as elegant, then you are elegant, right? I mean, I think your message is going to be the same, whether I understand you're trying to weigh like the situation here, but your message is your message. So how you're being perceived is not your responsibility. Your responsibility is for putting your message out there. And for anyone who understands what you're saying will reach out to you, right? And the people who are repelled by that because they're not awake yet will not respond to you so well. And that's kind of where we're at as spiritual entrepreneurs and as spiritual warriors. I understand what you're saying about persecution, because that's how I've felt that my whole life, right? It's really dangerous to put yourself out there. And I feel like that's because of all these past lives I've had where I've been beaten and tortured and all this, right? So I relate to what you're saying. But at the same time, as you said, we're no longer chopping off each other's heads necessarily, but our heads are being chopped off, theoretically, like online. So it's like, now we just have to do it, but this is your time. And the people who have been attracted to you in the past will you're going to draw more people to you like that. If you just trust and have faith in yourself and your message, that is what needs to be said. And you just keep going. You just keep going with it.
Well, that's true, but I still want to take the steps to present in a way, like tweaking.
Yeah.
Like I got to put a whole new banner up. I want to do a whole new video and do the intros, outros, like I was saying before.
Yep.
As professional and as elegant as
yes.
Possible. And SEO and do the marketing piece to that as
yes.
as I can.
Yeah, absolutely.
So many pieces to all of this. It's not the content, it's everything else that goes around to package it.
Absolutely. That's why I kind of, was downplaying all of the extra stuff that you can do with your page, just so, in my opinion, you just want to get yourself out there, and so, so I'm even showing up with my silly lighting on my webcam. But it's just what it is. It is what it is. And you already have a great platform here. So, you have a good webcam and you're very well spoken and articulate. So you just have to keep moving forward, right? That's it. And then kind of, fill in the missing pieces as you go along. But, if you think about everything at once, it's going to get really overwhelming. So it's like, what are the baby steps that you can do? That's kind of where I'm at with it. I think, do you have a designer? Are you working with a graphic designer at all? Or are you doing all the design yourself?
No, I'm kind of working with some people, but I'm also struggling with the fact that when I say I want one thing, something else comes back. So I'm going, okay, they're not quite grasping the vision, and then different people will get a different piece to it. So even with my new logo, it's been a work in progress between me and a couple of other people who are giving input and then tweaking it here and there, so even I was working on Pinterest yesterday and ended up doing some board covers myself, which I'm thinking to myself, it's not really a good use of my time, but
exactly.
But in a way, I feel like I have to ideal first. Okay, now this is what I did. Can you improve on that?
Right. Okay. Well, I hear you, is exactly right. Like you can spend all your time doing this stuff, or, if it's not your forte, then you can not spend your time doing it and have someone do it for you, which I'm a big advocate of, because I'm not a graphic designer myself and I don't even like doing it. So I'd rather just pay someone. But in terms of what you're doing with your YouTube page, let's look at that. So how are you seeing, like, what is it you want your YouTube page to represent about you? Like, what right now you have the Express Success channel. Are you changing, you're going to be changing that name?
Right. Well, it used to be, my business was Express Success. The channel was Express Success. I changed it over to Joy Peterson.
Okay.
I'm supposed to brand under Joy Peterson. So I've got
Right.
joypeterson.com, and I've started changing all my social media to be Joy Peterson instead of Express Success. And now I'm trying to bring everything else up to speed. Like even looking at my office, it looks so messy in the background because I've got so much in my background. When I did this channel, the open thing originally, I was going to try to do things with green screen, and that seemed to be an extra step, which is a pain.
Green screen is, yes, it is. Is this your new book, The Wisdom of the Guardian, Treasures from Art?
That was the first one. That was the one that Michael wrote, actually, and I just channeled it.
Okay, so your new book, this is a different book you're talking about, you're coming out with.
Right. Clear Your Past and Change Your Future is the name of the new one.
Okay. Well, are you wanting to do interviews? Or what do you think you want to, what would be fun for you? Like in terms of when you imagine this page, what do you imagine seeing?
Some of the things I want to do is here, like in the bottom here where you can see some things, they were speaking to different topics, and I just wanted to keep it short and sweet. I also have a couple of things that I've read, like chapters I've read from Michael's book, or there's 9 million blog posts that I've done, and I think possibly reading them and just having some nice graphic, or seeing me read them. I don't know. It just, I haven't decided on that. I keep trying to tweak the background. This is my office that you're seeing on the bottom.
Okay.
I'm trying to tweak that and maybe take some books out or make it look a little less busy. But I'm thinking about different playlists. One for maybe these 2-minute snippets of information, some on, I might consider interviews. There's sometimes I've been interviewed and then I include those on the channel. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think about how to do like maybe, what do you call them? Cover, or do you do, like I was doing on Pinterest yesterday with covers, maybe looking at, what do you call thumbnails for here, and maybe inserting a particular thumbnail instead of just the video thumbnail. So I'm looking at that.
Putting in a thumbnail? I don't understand. You mean for the,
like when you pick the thumbnail, you can apparently put up a like almost like a cover image.
Oh, you can do a custom thumbnail, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm looking at that.
Mm-hmm.
And then maybe doing a custom thumbnail. I don't know if you could do a custom thumbnail for the playlist, or it's just each individual.
You can, right. So guys, like when you're, whoever's watching, I'm just showing you Brian's page because he just does it so well. He started out, I watched him build this YouTube page, and he started maybe like less than 2 years ago with nobody. And now he has over 35,000 subscribers. So he does post like every day. He puts a lot of time and effort into this page. But when you're talking about custom URLs, so just so you understand what Joy's talking about, this is a custom thumbnail, right? So you have a nice graphic, you have his picture in here, you have get more views, suggested algorithm, a very clear title, you know exactly what you're gonna watch when you click on the video. So, you know, YouTube algorithm 2018 to dominate suggested video, you know, and those are suggested videos. Those are the ones that are in the sidebar, because a third of his viewership comes from suggested videos. And again, I think I said this before, but It's really important when you have the details in your text thing below that you really get very specific about what it is your video is about. So, because he says YouTube, like here, YouTube algorithm, I guarantee you that's a keyword he's going after. Algorithm, he says it again, another keyword. YouTube algorithm, okay, keyword. That's 1, 2 times. YouTube algorithm updates. Okay, that's a long tail phrase. That's another keyword. YouTube algorithm. That's what he's going after. So notice he has that term in his description twice. And he mentions the word algorithm again. So just so you get the keywords straight, what your video is going to be about, and then you promote it in here in the bottom, and then you have a link to whatever you're promoting. He's just thanking this friend of his. I'd like to thank God, my poodles, and the viewers. He's a sweetheart. So also, Joy, so look, he has his book, YouTube Ritual Volume 1 in here. You can go to Amazon right here and buy it. YouTube tools, he gives ideas for this is how you can do more YouTube stuff, fast track your channel, YouTube gear. He's got a shop on Amazon. You see that? He's so connected to YouTube now. He wants to be the YouTube guy that he has an Amazon store. So he recommends buying microphones or lights or whatever it is, and you go there and you just get what he has. Like he just tells you, this is what I use. Here, you can buy it here on Amazon. It's really easy. But he makes money off of Amazon. Not a lot. You're not going to make a lot of money off of Amazon as an affiliate, but you do make something. It's not for nothing. Tuber Tools. So he has like another graphics, stingers, and more for YouTubers. So go to this link and you can learn more about, graphics. And then he has a subscribe link here. So you always want to be promoting yourself endlessly and asking people to subscribe to your page, right? So this is all the stuff. Look at all the stuff he has in this thing. It's crazy, right? It's a lot of content, but most of this is just repurposed. So like this is repurposed, all the stuff he has, subscribe and join me, whatever. He just copies and pastes it into each one. It's not like he's writing this from scratch every time. But these top paragraphs are important. And that's what gets you into the suggested. So you see this thing here up next? Mm-hmm. That's called suggested videos. And why he's saying it's so important to have all this text in here is because if you're watching a video, like let's say Joy, I'm watching a video about, Archangel Michael or Doreen Virtue, for instance, right? You can riff your own videos off of Doreen Virtue. I'm just bringing her up, for instance. If she's mentioning, if she has a video about Archangel Michael and you're watching it, and you have your video tagged the right way for the keyword, if you guys are competing for the same keyword, especially, then your video has a good chance of popping up. And the more people that watch your videos, the more Google's going to push you up in the suggested video column. So it's kind of a chicken and the egg thing in terms of getting viewers to watch it, and so that it's but you need to get in the suggested video column so people can watch it. I mean, but you just start that way by just adding really good, rich content here, and let YouTube do its magic. So I guess going back to what you were saying earlier, Joy, is you wanted to talk about controversial topics. So that kind of goes against the grain of what you're saying about wanting to make sure you stay professional and that people. So it's like at one point I hear you wanted to really come out and just talk your talk and speak your piece and be controversial, which is what I think you need to be on YouTube these days. Not in a bad way. I don't mean controversial like in a negative way, but like saying things that are a little bit like create a little bit of cognitive dissonance with people because they need a little bit of a shakeup, right? And that's what you're here to do, is you're here to shake up people in your own beautiful, elegant way. You don't have to be like a crazy monkey out there on the streets, but just being you is enough, first of all, because you're enough already, right? But it's just your ability to speak up and say what you believe and what you feel. That's that's your gift. That's your right. That's your birthright. That's what we're here to do. And the fear that holds us back is what we're here to overcome, right? So once you overcome a fear, and you never have to face it again. And that's something that you're challenged with right now, which is beautiful. And you have this desire to be expressed and to be expressed on YouTube and Pinterest and all these other places. And I love that. And I completely support you with that vision, because we all need to be that way. And I think you're right. The more people get into alignment with themselves, the better chances we have of remaining a species on the planet before we're booted off by Mother Earth. But, I think that, what you're doing is sensible in terms of wanting to have, an elegant page, because that's how you are. That's who you are, right? That's, I guess, if you were going to define yourself, with 3 adjectives, what would you say, Joy? Would you say elegant, peaceful? Are you here?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I mean, as one of my friends said, who gets beaten up all the time because everybody asks her about me instead of being able to confront me. And she goes, "You're the kindest person I've ever met."
You're the kindest person?
Yeah, that she's ever met. So, I mean, I want to come across as being kind, and I don't like dealing with people who are unkind, which is my challenge.
Because that's how the corporate world is, or what do you mean?
No, you go on any light worker group and you find people that are unkind. You don't have to go anywhere.
Oh, I see. Just in general. Okay. Yes.
It's amazing how, people are, when I had to clear the karma of humanity and the fallen angels in order to open up heaven on earth. And I literally had to go back, and I dealt with the Prince of Darkness and saw that it all started out basically with a basic debate. What is better? The all or the nothing it came out of. And evil started out with defending a position. And that's what everybody's doing these days, is defending a position. And they're beating up everybody who doesn't meet their picture. Mm-hmm. And defending a position.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I'm trying to clear all that and help everybody so I can help set them free from the need to defend a position. In the meantime, I got to go get beaten up to do it. And it isn't fun. It really isn't fun.
You're smiling and laughing while you're saying that, so I wonder if you kind of maybe like it a little bit.
I mean, it's like that's like, I said to God one day, I said, I think it was easier clearing evil directly. And he goes, not really, but I gotta keep dealing with people. And sometimes dealing with the people I'm trying to help the most isn't fun.
Well, you can only, I hear that, because, you have challenging work. So the best thing you can do is you hold the divine within you, right? And you have them rise up to meet you rather than you lowering down to meet them. So
right. I mean, that's
your vibration. Right. And that's what you're here to do. And that's kind of like the foundation of your YouTube page, is to bring in the light and to hold that space and to hold that divine love for people. So what does that feel like and look like? And how do you want people to feel when they are watching you on video? Is it, peaceful? Are you having revelations? Are people going to be a little bit, or do you want people to be a little bit shaken up by the information you have? What is the purpose? What is your purpose for the page? What do you want people to feel and walk away with, basically? Is it knowledge? Is it excitement?
Knowledge, and I want them to have hope. I want them to wake up. I don't normally attract people that want to wake up. I usually attract people who are awake and want to evolve higher. It's the 3BD people that I really offend.
It's the who people?
The 3D people.
Oh, okay.
People who are still in 3D.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I offend them all of the time. Not that I desire to do that. It's just that I tell people information that doesn't meet their pictures.
Well, right. That's your purpose. That's why you're here. So, I mean, I guess the question is who's your main client? You know, who do you want to reach out to? You know, who's most likely to work with you, and create content based on that.
Right. Like over the years, I just migrated my business to business people because they were who I was already talking to. And one of the things that I noticed is ultimately I attracted old souls with a high purpose with some blocks, and then tried to, you know, help clear those for them. I've never targeted any market specifically, but they're asking me to go after light workers right now to get them off their fears of persecution and get them aligned with their highest purpose. And what I found when I was going into some of the light worker group to see where, you know, people were at, I was kind of surprised at the challenges that I was experiencing. But like anything else, darkness has always infiltrated religion, and it's doing the same with the light worker groups.
Right. Well, I guess, you know, I don't know, there's a lot of things you could do here, but you know, it's the angelic warrior picture, image, idea, you know, is very it sounds very appealing. And, you know, I think it's time for your inner tiger to come out and roar a bit, right?
That's what they're moving me towards. And that's where I'm, you know, even with my rebranding, I'm waiting for that image. Somebody's working on that now with new photographs and stuff like that. So I'm waiting for that to come through so I can actually start posting some of that. And then of course talking to you is some of it's like the technical stuff as far as, you know, what works best as far as, you know, positioning this with a channel, you know, some of it's graphic, some of it's like the actual SEO, which you were pointing out, which was useful.
Well, I mean, you have you say you're Dr. Joy Peterson. Is that, what kind of doctor are you?
Doctor of Divinity.
Okay. Okay. So something interesting. I just watched last night. I had massive insomnia last night, so it was like 4 a.m. I'm watching this this Vimeo channel, but it's called Faith Matters. Have you heard of Faith Matters Network?
No.
Check them out, because they published a video called Public Theology and Activism Theology, and it really got my attention. And, you know, it's about calling the divine, you know, people who are studying divinity and are in the divinity, you know, what do I say? I hate to use the word niche, but who are doctors like you know, ministers. They're calling people like to come out and be the activists for social change. And I don't know if that speaks to you or not.
Yeah, it sounds like it's in alignment.
It's definitely in alignment with where I'm at. And it definitely got my attention. I'm not, you know, in divinity school, but for you, I think there's a certain, you have a certain mission and cause to bring people to a higher vibrational place. And the best way to do that, you know, might be to just become an activist, as a theology activist. You know, it's like, this is a whole new world we're thinking about. And so trying to find those videos. If I find the link, I'll send it to you, or I'll post in the Visibility Lab. But, you know, you have to think outside the box right now, Joy, and you have to really think about how to capture people's attention. Why do they want to come to your page? What are they going to learn? You know, YouTube is for the how-to crowd, right? So people are always like, how to do this, how to do that. And they want information and they need help, right? So if you're working with people who are already awake, what is it that you want them to learn? What is it you want them to know? And, you know, and what is their problem? Like, why would they be typing? Think about it. Why are they typing in the search box? What are they looking for? You know, they're looking for help to do something that you do, that you help people with. You help solve a problem. It has to be kind of drilled down for YouTube. You know, you have to really think in terms of literally the words you use in the, the URL and the tags that, people are looking for. So it's really concrete, if you build a YouTube page that way.
All right.
So,
That's helpful.
yeah. And I would do, if I were you, based on who you are and what you do, and, start with the Angelic Warrior, get the graphic figured out sooner than later, and just start doing Facebook Lives, once a week, and just start uploading the Facebook Lives themselves to YouTube, if you want to do that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I have to start doing that. I just got comfortable even just doing YouTube. I wasn't even comfortable doing that for the longest time. So
I hear you. Right. That's something within you have to push forward.
Like I said, it's clear in my own past lives is
yes,
being public, being
yes,
promoting God, and it never ends with
But that being said, so right there is a very interesting, possible one YouTube video, or it's your story. It's your own story about how you're meeting your own fear to come out and be visible, because so many people have that problem. You're not alone. And a lot of people are not succeeding in their careers because they're afraid to step out and be seen. So, you could be the spokesperson for all those people to step out of the closet, because you're talking about, you're facing your fears, you're confronting your fears. And that's the first part of awareness. And that's the first part of handling a situation, right? So you're handling it right now by facing it and confronting it and willing to do this YouTube page. I know a lot of people in the Visibility Lab that would love to see you do this and succeed with it, because they're like, wow, look, she's doing it. Okay, maybe I can do it too. You know what I mean?
Well, that's the thing also with me. I had a big issue about coming out with my authentic self. Michael actually asked me years ago, would I be willing to be famous? And I'm going, oh, I worked in Hollywood and I know that's not necessarily pretty. And so I have been working through this. They've been preparing me for a long time to come out. And one of the things about that is that when I can be my authentic self and I can stand out there publicly, it's giving permission, and it already has helped others to come out themselves. So if everybody would be able to, know who their high self is, then be able to stand in that truth and be able to deliver the work that they're here for a reason. They chose to be born at this time to deliver a certain work. And if I can help them do that, that would be great. And yes, you're right. That was a perfect suggestion, actually sharing, my own journey with all of this, because it's not easy.
It's not. I'm agreeing with you. Yeah.
I have past life memories of being beheaded and being hanged and being burned at the stake. And I know what they are, and I've had to clear those in order to be able to do this now. And it hasn't been pretty, and it hasn't been easy. And I've been promised it was going to be safe this lifetime. And they keep telling me that. And
right.
I get that, but because it's a different time, and I've even cleared a lot of darkness in order to be able to help the planet be safe this time.
Right.
But people don't understand the dynamics behind what has undermined us and what continues to undermine us. Now it's more programming than it is the darkness itself.
Right. But see, so this is your opportunity to, literally document your own journey, and talk to the camera and talk to your audience and tell them what you're going through. And you could do it every day or every week, just have camera, think of the camera as your diary, and, kind of just talk to it and just tell what you're going through. And, I guarantee you're going to start to get people watching you, because it's a lot of people are going through what you're going through right now. Out of everything you said, that to me seems the most compelling thing that people want to see.
Well, actually, you're probably right. And out of all of this, yes, there's all that technical stuff, which is useful, and you want to ground everything in as professional manner as you can. But I think you just hit on something too, because that's the part that people can relate to the most and is the most authentic for me, to be able to just share this journey. It hasn't been easy.
Right. So just start out small and, just do little daily, if you want to do a daily vlog or whatever, but just your thoughts about it and what it feels like and your experience with it, your own personal journey story is so compelling. And that is what you could do on your Facebook Live. And then you can download it and upload it to your YouTube page. And that can be its own playlist. You don't have to, it doesn't have to be your entire YouTube page, but it can be,
Right.
It's what's going to get people to go there. And start typing in the browser and see what people are searching for in terms of keywords and stuff.
Yeah.
But, we can brainstorm about that later, but you know what I mean? Just think about it, because I think that's a powerful
that was a great
series.
suggestion, and I really appreciate it, because that, I think, would, I just think that would, I can see where that would be useful to them, but also useful to myself, in this process. So thank you.
Good. Thank you.
Yeah, that was a big help. Thank you.
Okay, good. Thank you. Great. All right. Well, I'm going to call it. I got to run, but I'm really happy to talk with you today. So I'm going to post this there, and hopefully this will help people, and they're going to see you're doing it, and they're going to do it too. So
Great. Thanks.
right on.
All
So
right.
let me know what you come up with. Okay.
Well, thanks.
Okay. We'll talk later.
Thanks a lot.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.